Hi everyone, hi friends and enemies, family, everybody, one love. I'm feeling good, and I just wanted to share a few minutes with you guys. I'm just in the Jaja vibes, and I'm here. I'm with the Scofield Bible. I don't know if you know Scofield Bible. He's got very clear references. And I love in this Bible Psalms, Proverbs, and mostly from Genesis. Number is a little bit too complicated. But anyway, I'm here uh, to express my feeling about the situation, which is very sad. I um, I cried like a baby. I posted that I was sad. I did cry like a baby when I saw George Floyd losing his life. And I suffer with anxiety, and sometimes depends on what I'm going through, the stage of my situation, my life. Sometimes it becomes very severe that I end up at the hospital. Because I don't really get the care I actually needed. But right now, I'm just, my weed is good, my things is good, everything is good. I'm embarking in getting better spiritually, physically, morally. And yes, I don't want to stray to what I was saying. My condolences to the family. It's so sad. He was a daddy. I never met him. I never knew him, but I touched my heart. I showed a video to a member of my family, which reside in Italy, my sister, and actually no, I didn't show her the video. I was actually having a video call with her, which I do every day, and it was on the news in Italy. She was watching the news at the same time we were talking. And I already told her about it, and she didn't know. She didn't. But in that period of time, after a few minutes after the news was showing the death of George Floyd in Italy news, and my sister was witness to this, to the news, to this um, horrible crime, and I saw her tearing up. So it's something that has touched everyone. I don't know, like I'm trying to figure it out. Like where are those people coming from? Why there is so much hate towards black people? There is hate towards there is hate towards every other races as well. But black, why putting through? Why doing? Why? I um I have children, grandchildren, and every day honestly I pray. Someone said, "Don't worry if you can pray." So I do pray every day. First thing I say in the morning, thank God I woke up. I try to keep in touch with my children most of the time. I try to let them know to, text me more often. Um, my family, one of my sons as well experienced police brutality a few years ago. I wasn't in the country when that happened. He was at that time 18 years old. I went to visit my family in Italy. I went to visit my mom. It was a long time I haven't seen her. It was over 2 decades. And I took my daughter with me, my youngest daughter. And my other children was in school at the time. I separated them because they're all boys. The youngest at the time was 17, almost 18. And the oldest at the time was Miss Tordis. I left to Italy to meet my mom and my family, and we were keeping in contact all the time by phone, and we didn't have the video call then, and I haven't heard from him for a while. He was staying with his big brother. He rented a basement apartment in a home in a front street. I think I can't recall it exactly, I don't want to lie. And from when I didn't hear from my son for about a week or two, I started to get funny feelings, and I called my other family, and they finally investigated, and my son was hospitalized. They found him hospitalized. When I had him on the phone after a month of looking for Michael, he was in the hospital, and he told me that he was okay. They had him in the mental psychiatric hospital. He then told me right away everything. So, and my oldest son, he wasn't home when that happened. For what I heard was that his brother was late bringing the grocery, and Michael was a little bit hungry. Michael had, he was a little bit, he was going a little bit over the limit. He was born with ADHD, they say. And sometimes he just would do things that a little kid would do. And I guess at the time he was hungry, and he went upstairs in the house, which it was a business, was a massage business, masseuse. And he went in the house because obviously they knew him because he lived in the basement of the house. And he went in. I didn't know exactly. He told me went in, and he went up in the fridge, took a apple, and he said that I eat. And they tell him to leave. I'm really not exactly sure about it, but what I heard that when I came from Italy and I went to the hospital to take my son out of the hospital, um, a young man came on to me and told me that, my son was brought in um, he was brought in he was damaged in ah, this young man, my son, he was hospitalized as well. And they told me that Michael was in a very terrible physically and very badly injured. From what Michael told me, he was assaulted by the police, came in the home and assaulted him. And they were, with their heavy shoes, they were stepping on his head, on his head. And they were telling him to lick the ground. That's what he told me. And then after they beat him up badly on his head, mostly, they took him to the hospital and they injected him with a needle. And since then, Michael has never been the same. He had a little bit of history of getting angry because of his of him being going through a lot of discrimination, a lot of in school, because he has a very dark skin. He's been bullied. He's been going through a lot. And he grew angry with his, already with the disability that he had, made it much worse. I remember when he was a baby, when he was a young kid, Michael, then was always on my shoulder, was always in my arms. I didn't even realize he was in my arms. He just crawling himself into my lap all the time. Very attached to me. And now I can't touch him. He's scared too soon. One time he has, just before he was going through this happened. I moved him from my home with his brother because Michael was, he didn't get actually the bullet on him, but someone tried to kill him. It was gunpoint on his head, and the cops told me that it was about 8, 9 bullets. He was on his way home from school in a ghetto area. I was living what is a very violent zone area. Michael coming from home around 18 years old from his school. I was a little bit getting just dark, and he told me that someone approached him dressed in black with a hoodie covering his face, asking him if he knew where he could find weed. And Michael looked at him and said no. And then he realized that this man was going for his gun in his pocket, and the gun dropped. And at that point, Michael started to run. And I was very close to my home, to his home. And I heard a knocking on my door. I opened the door quickly because it was a very hard knocking. And I came in, and he came in the house, and he was like he was split in two, was bent down, like his head was very down, and he was shaking. And I said, "What's going on? What's wrong? You're sick?" And he said, "No, Mom. Someone is trying to shoot me." I was paralyzed, terrorized, traumatized for so many previous situations with my children. And I stood cold. I didn't know what to do. And the cops came to my home the same evening, telling me that they want to talk to me, that they got the video of this man aiming the gun at my son, trying to aim it at his head. And my son was luckily escaping. So, trauma on top of trauma. Michael's still suffering, very much traumatized. And I have not enough to get him a good therapist. I don't have the financial right now to deal with this matter. If I had it, I would have. Eventually, I know God will help. And I will help myself, and God will help me, and things will be fine. One day, Michael will be okay. But anyway, I cried for 2 days. I've been crying for a long time. My children knows me. I'm very strong. I'm a sensitive woman, emotional, but and when I do, it happen usually in my bed, so they don't really know when it happened. This story really touched me, and then I keep on seeing children. I saw one time a kid in the streetcar getting harassed and from the police and abuse. He sounded like one of my kids. I started to shake. I couldn't see the face of the person, the kid. I called right away. I called my child. Every day is like, God protect us. Not only my children, protect God's children. People want to know why they hate black people, because black people are good people. And hate and love could never be friends. to my knowledge. We're trying to educate people too long. They say black people need to be educated. Uh, we are not even free to discipline our children. We want to have our children learn at home, you know. Some children might learn, some children born, they listener, they're, you know, maybe they're the only child. Uh, maybe they had a good life, everything is okay, but it's not the case for everybody. So it's tough being black. I am from Italian parenting. I grew up in the south of Italy. I was born here in Canada. I was brought up in Italy as a baby, and they have a racial profile on black people. We had a black market every Friday. We had a black market. And people would come from with a boat, the ship, from Africa and all over. So we call it the Black Friday. And my people too, where I grew up, I don't know if anyone has ever been into that zone where I grew up, where I was in this system where I come from. Very dark people, very dark skinned people, black people, some darker, some lighter. So what's wrong? What is wrong with this? I don't understand. Those white women loves to look tan. They pay money, a lot of money to get that done. So are some black men. A lot, actually, people. And they criticize black women if they do they straight their hair, or if, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with people. I just know that a friend of mine, a very good brethren of mine, I can even say that a friend that's more close than a friend. They used to call him Chief, a member of the 12 tribe of Israel. He told me, not even the ugly Satan is racist. Israel is open to everyone. So where are those people coming from? What planet are you from? I really would like to open you in half and see what you're made of. Anyway, I feel like saying a prayer. Here is night. I'm a night owl. I don't know, I just love being, I don't know, the night is my time. It's me time. Me Jaja time. I have to be on the guards, if you know what I mean. Okay, I want to read the Psalms. I love to read the Psalms. Which I think everybody knows, which is appropriated for today's video. So before I go in the Psalms, I'm going to do my sign of the cross. I'm praying for this hate to stop. I'm praying for this blood to stop shame. For our children's blood to stop shame. For our brothers' blood to stop shame. For our fathers, mothers, grandfather, everyone. All black people. All people that matter. All people matter. Black people matter. Black people was here before white people. If you know your history and if you go to Genesis, then you know where life started. You know when God created heaven, and you know when they did, how they create human, how we all come about, where we all come from. Look into your eyes, white supremacists. And if you don't see black, you're blind. God protect and guide our children. May George Floyd rest in power, and all the other black brothers and sisters that are going through this violence and have passed through and still went through. The Psalms of David, Psalms 23. I'm praying to Rastafari. I'm praying to Jesus Christ. Haile Selassie, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lay down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Kadamawi, Rastafari. Yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comforted me. Thou prepares a table before me in thy presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Jah Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Kadamawi, Abata Chinoy, Human Time. Jesus Christus. Amen. Sila. Share, please. One. Love. One.